is your infatuation with them? I don't get it. There's some more trade slot. Players like Jonas Valanciunas, Malcolm Brogdon, Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, and Jordan Clarkson are expected to be available for second-round compensation per the Stein line. Other veterans believed to be available for second-round draft compensation with 39 days to go until the trade deadline include Valanciunas and Brogdon, Toronto's Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown, and Utah's Jordan Clarkson. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Jordan Clarkson on a contending team. Okay, I'm interested in that. Now, of course, when you talk about any of these guys, immediately you got to talk about the number that they are making financially. Jordan Clarkson is at $14 million. That's really not a bad number at all. I was thinking that was in the 20s for some reason. $14 million for Jordan Clarkson. That's easily tradable. You could easily find somebody out there that would love to do that. Jonas Valanciunas is $10 million this year. I think that's a contract that teams could easily find the salary to match for in a trade. $10 million or $9.9 million this year, 10 the next year, 10 the next year. B-Dot, 25 months. Kelly Olynyk to the Mavs. Hey man, how about Kelly Olynyk to the Mavericks? What is Kelly O making? Did he just sign with them? Was he a free agent this offseason and stayed? I can't believe I'm even fucking looking at this. Yeah, signed a contract extension in March. $12 million for Kelly Olynyk this year. Hey man, that Max Kleber for Kelly and Bruce Brown is 20. The Bruce Brown one becomes a little bit more interesting because that's a little bit more difficult to trade for. But I would say, and we haven't, Bruce Brown's at $23 million this year. Shout out to the Indiana Pacers. Bruce Brown's played one game this season. I do think, and last year was rough for him. He just made his season debut last night. I would think out of this group of players, Bruce Brown is probably the most impactful for a veteran team, a team that's trying to win, just because, well, we know he can be a piece on a championship team. We've seen that. Versatile, could come off the bench, does all of the things you want a guy like that to do. Brogdon's kind of interesting to me as well. He's at $22 million. Clarkson's interesting to me. These like scoring guys off the bench. Brogdon more of like a floor general off the bench, but Clarkson a scoring guy off the bench. Those guys are interesting to me. Paul at the 5. I was just trolling, but now I'm afraid we'll accidentally will Olynyk into happening. I don't think so. I don't think so. You think about teams, contending teams that might be in the market for some scoring, especially some bench scoring. I think about teams like Orlando. I don't know. I really don't know what the Magic are going to do. That win they got yesterday was crazy, but the Magic are 20-14 with all of their injuries. They might not do shit. They really might not do shit. I think a team like Milwaukee would love to have a Jordan Clarkson or Malcolm Brogdon come off the bench for them. Zach, welcome to the Slightly Delusional Club. I think a team like Houston would love a reliable go-to bucket getter. But the problem with like a team like Houston is they might just be cool with playing this shit out. They've lost a few games in a row, but they might be cool playing this shit out. And let's see who we can rely on in a playoff setting. Then we can make changes to our roster. We see teams do this all the time. Clarkson is who I can see Hardy becoming one day. Maybe. What do you think Cam Thomas market value is? I'm not sure. Cam Thomas is like one of those weird players where I feel like his trade return would be surprising in a bad way. Houston needs to get rid of overpaid Van Fleet. The thing is they really can't lose Van Fleet. No chance Hardy blows. Okay. I don't want this to turn into a Hardy shit fest. I'm trying to see what teams across the league need a little bit more bench production. The Grizzlies, this is no surprise whatsoever, lead the league in points from their bench. Not a shocking development at all. The Warriors second. That's not shocking at all. They play a 17-man rotation. The Knicks, could the Knicks use some scoring punch off the bench? Well, this isn't that surprising either because they play a 12-man rotation. What is the minutes? I wonder what the minutes played means. Is this just like the average minutes per game for guys who come off the bench? Them being dead last isn't a surprise. The Kings, I could see the Kings making a move for, but do they need another guard though? The Kings need somebody off their bench who can fucking score the basketball. That much is certain. Timberwolves interested in Keon Ellis. What would that trade look like? Nuggets obviously would love to have someone like Jordan Clarkson or Malcolm Brogdon, but contractually, I don't think they have. Even Bruce Brown coming back, contractually, I don't think that's even really possible for them. Hardy's the one guy in the Mavs that Kyrie is a bad influence on because he thinks he can take the same shots as Kai. Dude, I just think that's who Jaden Hardy is. That's just who Jaden Hardy is. I think there's a world where the Thunder could go for a guy off the bench who can score. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Thunder do next to nothing again. I'm very interested to see what the market is for some of these guys. Bruce Brown, I think, will be a pretty highly sought after commodity. Kelly Olynyk, I mean, I know we're joking and memeing. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what Kelly Olynyk, what his value is. Valanciunas, I'm thinking about teams like the Lakers, the Suns. A Nurkic-Valanciunas swap. Would the Wizards want to do that? I don't know. But a Nurkic-Valanciunas swap and then some draft compensation, whatever the fuck that would look like, I think it absolutely makes the Suns a better team. They have this young rook, AJ Mitchell, who's been balling out for a second-round rookie. Oh, yeah, for sure. AJ Mitchell's a good player. But I'm saying just a reliable go-to bucket getter off the bench. Only look at Olynyk's, his stats, and that we never talk about him again. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I get it. We're getting to this point. We've seen a couple of trades. Every fan base is now fantasizing trades of their own. And it is that dopamine. That dopamine hit when you get that notification and there's a trade is next to nothing. The dopamine hit when you get a notification that there's a trade and it's your team involved. I mean, it's great. I want a starting five of Nurk, Jonas, Turner, Olynyk, and Sabonis. That'd be a 6 starting five. You think there's a chance OKC can get Malik Monk? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to want guys with longer contracts like that. It's a very friendly deal. But they just paid Caruso. They're going to have to give... I mean, J-Dub and Chet are getting super maxes. Or not super maxes, but, the rookie max. So let's talk about Naz Reid to the Mavs. All right, it ain't happening. There you go. John Collins to the Mavs, probably not happening either. Well, this leads us to some more interesting Dallas Mavericks talk, actually. Report, Kyle Kuzma is interested in getting traded to the Dallas Mavericks per Jake Fisher. By all indications, he has a lot of interest in going to Dallas. Shout out to my guy Noah Weber. He was at our I did not know that Jake Fisher was working for Mark Stein. How about that? He was at our hoop run on Saturday morning. So Kyle Kuzma has a lot of interest in going to Dallas. Obviously, this is funny because last year, Kyle Kuzma, the Mavericks were ready to trade for Kyle Kuzma. It was pretty much a done deal from all the reporting. And Kuzma said he didn't want to, that he thought that they were a piece away from championship contention. Obviously, a self-report there because you would think he'd say, they're a piece away. I'm that piece. I'm on my way. Instead, he said, no, you know what? I got to be honest with myself. I'm not making that team a contender. Which you have to respect that. Yeah, you do have to respect that self-report there. Kuzma, you need to trade Kleba, Powell, and Najee. What's this? Fisher said he also spoke with people connected to the Mavs front office and mentions they'd most likely not be interested in giving any key assets for Kuzma. Yeah, this is not a surprise at all. What is he doing?
Interest in going to Dallas, which is interesting to me, being that was a situation he could have gone to last year, but the Wizards, interestingly, went to Kyle Kuzma and gave him the opportunity to accept that trade or decline it. He chose to stay. That's when the Mavericks, Gafford or Najee Marshall, in addition to Maxi Kleber.
Mavs get Kuzma for $2 million. What is it? People wanting to get rid of Najee? Yeah, I don't think this trade makes sense. Now, I will say this: everyone who's writing this off immediately, the Mavs historically like to circle back to guys that they wanted, didn't get. The Mavs do like to circle back. And if there was a world where you could make this trade happen by it being Maxi and maybe another player that wasn't in your rotation, really, I could see it, and I wouldn't think it was that bad, honestly. Um, the problem is you would have to cut into your rotation. You'd have to cut into your rotation. It would have to be Maxi and then plus somebody else who's actually in your rotation just to make it work contractually. And that just doesn't make sense for the Mavericks. You know, that's where it doesn't make sense anymore. That might be a Mark Cuban thing to do. Yeah, true. I mean, Kuz and PJ on the same lineup could be an interesting dynamic. No, I'm saying, if this were possible, it would be interesting. Kuzma could come off your bench. You have some more size. You have somebody who can go and get a bucket himself. I know he hasn't shot the 3-ball well this season. I don't think you can take anything anybody's doing on the Wizards seriously. We have seen Kuzma be like a really solid rotational piece on a championship winning team. So I think it could be interesting, but it just doesn't work. There's no way to make it work. There's no way to make it work without cutting into your rotation. Look at Fanspo, dude. Ugh. I'm telling you, I haven't had fun. I have not had fun on the Fanspo thing. It was fun like the first couple of times. It's not really fun anymore because all the trades are horrible. But I am on Fanspo right now, just trying to figure out how you can make this work contractually. And it goes deeper than this. It's not just as simple as it works financially. There's other things involved. So Kuzma's making $23 million this year. This is something to maybe watch in the offseason. But Kuzma's making $23 million this year. Maxi, that's 11. You have to make up $12 million now. I mean, how do you go about doing that? You send them back Gafford. Well, now you have a huge gaping hole at your backup 5 spot. And Lively's hurt all the fucking time. PJ, no way in hell you're doing that. Clay, you're not doing that either. Najee and Powell. Najee's making $8 million for the next 3 years. That's a great contract. Can we be honest about Gafford, man? I mean, honest in what way? Like I've had my concerns with Gafford all season long. I think Gafford's a good player. I don't think he's like there's like some Mavs fans that would kill you for even suggesting that he could maybe be tradable. He's a rock solid center. That's valuable. I think it'd be, and I don't think Gafford's getting traded. I don't even like entertaining the idea. But when it came down to the hypothetical, would you trade Gafford for Herb Jones? And a bunch of Mavs fans were saying no. I think that's fucking crazy. But I don't even like spending time on it because it would never happen. At least not this offseason, or at least not this trade season. And it probably will never happen. Herb Jones, now we're talking about an impact player. Yeah, and there was a hypothetical trade scenario going around where the Mavs trade Gafford for Herb Jones, and a lot of Mavs fans said no. That's silly. That really is silly. And I get it because the Mavs center rotation has been bad for so long that now it's good, and you're going to get rid of one of the reasons why it's so good in Daniel Gafford. But Herb Jones is a 35-minute per game in the playoff player. Daniel Gafford is not that at all. That's just the reality. If we were guaranteed that all of our players are healthy until the end of the season, I wouldn't make a single trade. I don't think the Mavs are going to do much of anything. I just don't. I don't see it. Because here's the thing, too, is, you look at their contracts. Maxey has a year left after this. Their only real expirings the Mavs have, they're going to have to pay Quentin Grimes this offseason. Interested to see what his number is, but he's restricted. Exum, would love to have Exum back, but I don't know what his market's going to be, especially if he comes back in the coming weeks and looks good and is healthy to close out the season. And that's it. I mean, Markieff Morris, Spencer Dinwiddie, these are guys who are probably going to be, either vet minimum guys. I mean, Markieff Morris, absolutely a vet minimum guy. But Dinwiddie, he's having a pretty decent season. Like, it's not like they have expiring contracts that they're like, we need to, like, capitalize on this right now, like D'Angelo Russell on the Lakers, for example. So they don't really, like, have to do anything. If Herb was available, and he definitely isn't, just trade Gafford, Kleber, et cetera, and get another center like Jonas Val. I mean, if Herb Jones was available and there was a world where the Mavs can make it happen with Maxi Kleber, Daniel Gafford, and whatever picks, and it comes out that they didn't do that, I would be pissed. I would be upset. I don't think it's possible. And I don't even think that's interesting from the Pelicans' perspective. Like, why would they do that? Yves Missy's been good. Now I have Gafford. I have a backup center to replace my 30-plus minute per game, unbelievable perimeter defender. Pels need a center, though. I mean, for what reason? Their season is over. They're 5-27. Their season's done. It's done. There's no hope. Think about being 5-27. Think about how crazy that is. They went out. If they were to win out, how many wins is that? I'm trying to do the math in my head really quickly. 55 wins? That's like the 3 seed in the West. They would have to win out. Like, if they lose 10 more games the rest of the season, they're done. They're done. And they are done. They've lost 9 straight. Mavs got a 7-5 guy. Guys, we watched Sharp in the preseason and summer league. He's not an NBA player, man. Okay. $11 million for Thibault is nothing, but like Maxey for Thibault, what does that accomplish? I don't know. That accomplishes next to nothing for me. Thibault's so overrated. I mean, I best defender on the team right away. Yeah, but in a playoff setting, he's probably not playing. I don't know. I think I'm trying to prepare you guys because I know for the next month plus I'm going to be bombarded with horrific trade proposals. I'm trying to prepare you guys for the Mavericks doing nothing. It's not fun. I get it. I understand. In years past, we know the Mavericks have needed things and they've been aggressive at the trade deadline. So it's fun to sort of and the Mavericks have. They've been one of the most aggressive teams in the league, one of the most aggressive front offices in the league over the last 5 years. But there might not be one this year. I'm just letting you guys know this right now. There's probably not one this year. DeAndre Hunter's another name the Mavs should give a look at, and that's another guy. Isn't Hunter making $20 million? Hunter's at 21. That's really hard. That's a hard number for the Mavericks to get at. Because let's Maxey. Okay, include Maxey. Okay, you got to make up $10 million. And also, if the Hawks were to make a move like this, they're trying to get under the tax. Like, they're trying to cut this number down. Fuck it, go get Isaiah Thomas. Hell yeah. Let's bring back IT. If the Mavs were just healthy, we wouldn't need trades. I mean, they probably don't need trades. Like, I know this next month might suck without Luka, but as long as they stay afloat, they'll be fine. Isaiah Stewart is another guy. $15 million. All right. Fine. You want to do Maxey and what? Omax? That gets you close enough. You can probably make this work. Great. Are you attaching first round picks? You guys watch Isaiah Stewart? Like that's not that fun of a trade. Trey Murphy, you don't have the assets. How nervous are you that the Mavs make a panic trade? I'm not nervous at all. I don't think they would do that. Malachi Flynn. All right, we're done talking about trade slop.